It's like ooh la la, ooh la la. It's not hard to say how I feel. It's like ooh la la, ooh la la. It's kinda easy now 'cause it's real. Hey. Na 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 na. Na 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 na. Na 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 na.
Well, hi everybody. How are you guys? Gosh, it is good to be home. Oh my goodness. Wow. What a marathon yesterday in the car. But it was not as bad as you would think. It sounds more horrendous than it was. Could clean my glasses before I get on here. But we left Reno at 7 a.m. and we got home at 9. So 14 hours. And it was, we stopped for lunch in Klamath Falls. We took roads that were not the main. We didn't have to drive I-5, which was, whew, thank goodness. Oh my goodness. Hang on, you guys. That strobe light's going to go crazy. What? Let me just see if I can fix that little thing. There. Cool. Boy, it was going nuts. Anyway, so we had all that going on, and let's see. Yep, sounds okay. And we got home, felt great, got things started to unpack and all of that kind of stuff, and thought, whoa, this was great. Today, about noon, we both went, oh, just took a dive. Oh my gosh, and energy was like, how crazy is all of that? But it is still really good to be home. So let's check in and see who all is here and what everybody is saying. Let me see here. We have Linda's here and Tamara, yay. Yeah, talking about art being healing. Linda saying this. So you always, how is Dee, Linda? Has there been any, I haven't seen if there's been any further update on, I saw that you said that she was back in the hospital and there was concern that she might not make it. So yeah, let me know. Would you send me some information on that so that I know who to contact and whatnot? Dee was early, long time member of Coming to the Story and Art, and well before she got sick, and so it would be nice to follow up and find out how she's doing and what happened. So she wanted to get back here and be in her new studio. No, the results are not. Okay, Deidre and I kept in contact through emails. Yeah. Hey, there's Lupe. Hiya. So I'm home. But we're glad. Yeah, I'm glad to be home. It was really quite the trip. Hey, there's Larry, and I setting things up today. I had to put wires back in every place. I was like, okay, where does this one go? Where does this one go? Where are they? Where did I put them all? And it's just, yeah, they're back. And I still have a smudge on my glasses. Either that or smudge on my camera. One of the two. Very possible. Let me just check something here on this. Clean out that camera. Oh, Gail. Oh man, I'm sorry about the migraine. Those are not any fun. I ended up going to my chiropractor today to deal with my vertigo, which he fixed, and I'm back to normal. There's Mona. Yay. Hi, Mona. Glad to have you here. Yay, good. And so Mona's here, Linda's here, Tamara's here, Angie's here, Larry, Lupe. Is Julia here? I thought I saw Julia. She sent an email earlier, a message earlier on. I came home and I managed to find some things that I had early on had done, and took part of a video that I had done as an opening to when I did the Ansie Ansel book about Ansel Adams, and I made that into just a short little video that I posted, kind of like a shorts, and put that out today. Just, sometimes it's good to go back and look at things you've done and repurpose them and everything. So we got a good group of people here for stories. So tonight I'm going to jump into about 3 or 4 days of stories from a particular legend in children's literature. And that particular legend is Tomie dePaola. We lost Tomie in March of 2020, but he was just spectacular. And I'm going to read his book Strega Nona tonight, which is one of really classics of his. And I'm going to start in a book that Barbara, who was it? What's her name? Who is this? Barbara Ellman wrote, and she wrote on the world of Tomie dePaola. And I'm going to go back. First off, I got a little bit to tell you about him. And here. So he was a bit longer bio. He was best known for his books for children. He'd written or illustrated over 270 books, including Strega Nona, Tomie dePaola's Mother Goose, Oliver Button is a Sissy, 26 Fairmont Avenue was a chapter book. Nearly 25 million copies of his books have been sold. In 2015, it marked Tomie dePaola's 60th year as a professional artist and 50th year as an illustrator of children's books. And it was also the 40th public year anniversary of the publication of Strega Nona. He was born and married in Connecticut in 1934, and he received his BFA from Pratt Institute in Brooklyn. And in addition to writing and illustrating children's books, dePaola taught for several years in art and theater departments in colleges in California, Massachusetts, and New Hampshire. Tons of awards, including the Smithson Medal from the Smithsonian Institution, the Curlin Award for University of Minnesota, the Regina Medal from the Catholic Library Association, and the Sarah Josepha Hale Award, a prestigious distinction in writing by a New Englander. He was also the 1990 U.S. nominee for the International Hans Christian Andersen Award in Illustration, and the ALA named Strega Nona a Caldecott Honor Book, and 26 Fairmont Avenue was a Newbery Honor Book. It's just so many things that he did, so many things. So with him, I thought I would do a little bit of combination between who he was and some of his books, using Barbara's book as well as the books that I read to tell a little bit more about just what he did and who he was. So let me go back to this one. I'll give you her introduction. There is, in that book, The World of Tomie dePaola, there was a tribute written to him. It says, once upon a time in the 70s, for some now forgotten reason, I decided to do an illustration in the style of Tomie dePaola. A clever forgery was actually what I was after. And clearly remember thinking that it would take 10 or 20 minutes of my time, tops. I'd always had a knack for imitating different drawings and handwriting styles, and I thought I could knock off a Tomie drawing as easy as pie for the book, jacket, or a birthday card, or whatever I was doing. Tomie dePaola's artwork is famous for being beautifully simplistic. And this guy thought he could just recopy it in 10 or 20 minutes. I sat down at my drawing table with the 300-pound Fabriano watercolor paper, the stacks of colored pencils and best watercolors, and all the art supplies that I knew Tomie was fond of using. 6 hours later, and sweaty, frustrated, and thoroughly puzzled, I tore up the 38th ruined piece of paper in despair. No matter how hard I tried, in fact, the harder I tried, the further I got from success. I could not imitate Tomie's way of drawing. That seemingly formulaic style with its simple line, its folksy composition, and its childlike color. That was a lot more complex and sophisticated than I had bargained for, and almost impossible to duplicate in spirit. I was, like almost everyone else, I was looking at the surface of things and making the wrong assumption. I had forgotten about the old standard myth that also happens to be true. The artist always draws or paints him or herself, no matter what the subject and no matter what or how they approach. We illustrators create and recreate ourselves over and over, not just in the ways of our unwitting pens and brushes draw sets of features that look more like ourselves than, say, the enchanted frog, but in the very atmosphere, tone, and approach we lay down for a story. You can tell a whole lot about an illustrator's spirit and personal stuff from his or her illustrations. And that's a bit from the tribute to him in this book. And now I'm going to read a bit about Strega Nona before I actually read Strega Nona to you. So there's the cover of Strega Nona, an original tale written and illustrated by Tomie dePaola. When asked about the provenance of the bulbous-nosed, protruding-chinned character who is so happily familiar to children and adults alike, dePaola told how, while he was doodling in his drawing pad during a faculty meeting many years ago, she just appeared, unannounced and unsolicited, and he said she refused to go away. But dePaola was happy to accommodate her. Throughout the years, Strega Nona has become a very well-known figure, not only in children's literature, but in popular culture as well. And Big Anthony, bumbling through as he is, or perhaps because of it, has become a regular presence in the book's stage, sharing adventures with the ever-enduring Grandma Witch. After Strega Nona revealed all in her biography, Strega Nona, Her Story, as told to Tomie dePaola, Big Anthony, not to be left behind, claimed his own top billing in Big Anthony, His Story. And soon a third character joined, the kind-hearted Bambolona, joined the pages with Strega Nona and Big Anthony. And gradually the threesome began sharing plot lines, with Bambolona staking out her own place in the stories. Throughout the years, Strega Nona has earned her creator a Caldecott honor, has been the star of theater dramatization, has been replicated in a soft cloth doll, has appeared on wall hangings, t-shirts, Christmas ornaments, needlepoint pillows, mugs, and tote bags. Was a huge presence during dePaola's presentation at Universal Studios in Orlando as a gigantic balloon, and has turned up in background details in a number of dePaola's other books. Strega Nona has indeed come a long way. So what makes this Grandma Witch so enduring? I think that it is time for me to read the story and tell you all about what makes Strega Nona so enduring. Let me get to her book. Where'd she go? There she is. So this has always been a favorite of mine, and actually another one of his books was a favorite of my mom's, about a coat, Charlie's Cloak, and because it's all about weaving, and my mom was all about the books on weaving. So here is the story of Strega Nona. by Tomie dePaola, written and illustrated. What are you guys? What's up here first? Julia's there. Is Julia there? Oh, yay. Oh. So everybody's checking in back and forth. I got reading there. Mona's, they said hi. Linda's saying hi to Julia. Talked about the pictures that I put up today, my black and whites. Gretchen's, yes, I looked at them all. Some are my favorite. I love shooting black and white myself. It's stunning. Those are some older ones of my black and whites. I adore Ansel Adams, and it's just kind of one of those things. So Julia, I took a class when we were allowed in the school's lab to process. I did my slides in the kitchen sink. Nonna Grandma in Italian. It's Strega Nona, and it means, I'll tell you about it. It's right here. We go. In a town in Calabria, a long time ago, there lived an old lady everyone called Strega Nona, which meant Grandma Witch. Although all the people in town talked about her in whispers, they all went to see her if they had troubles. Even the priest and the sisters of the convent went, because Strega Nona did have a magic touch. She could cure a headache with oil and water and a hairpin. She made special potions for the girls who wanted husbands. And she was very good at getting rid of warts. But Strega Nona was getting old, and she needed someone to help her keep her little house and garden. So she put up a sign in the town square. And Big Anthony, who didn't pay attention, went to see her. "Anthony," said Strega Nona, "you must sweep the house and wash the dishes. You must weed the garden and pick the vegetables. You must feed the goat and milk her, and you must fetch the water. For this I will give you 3 coins and a place to sleep and food to eat." "Oh, grazie," said Big Anthony. "The one thing you must never do," said Strega Nona, "is touch the pasta pot. It is very valuable, and I don't let anyone touch it." "Oh, si, yes," said Big Anthony. And so the days went by. Big Anthony did his work, and Strega Nona met with the people who came to see her for headaches and husbands and warts. Big Anthony had a nice bed to sleep in next to the goat shed, and he had food to eat. One evening, when Big Anthony was milking the goat, he heard Strega Nona singing. Peeking in the window, he saw Strega Nona standing over the pasta pot. She sang, "Bubble, bubble, pasta pot, boil me some pasta nice and hot. I'm hungry and it's time to sup. Boil enough pasta to fill me up." And the pasta pot bubbled and boiled and suddenly filled with steaming hot pasta. Then Strega Nona sang, "Enough, enough, pasta pot. I have my pasta nice and hot. So simmer down my pot of clay until I'm hungry another day." "How wonderful," said Big Anthony. "That's a magic pot for sure." And Strega Nona called Big Anthony in for supper. But too bad for Big Anthony, because he didn't get to see Strega Nona blow 3 kisses to the magic pasta pot. And this is what happened. The next day, when Big Anthony went to the town square to fetch the water, he told everyone about the pot. And naturally, everyone laughed at him because it sounded so silly, a pot that cooked all by itself. "You better go confess to the priest, Big Anthony," they said. "Such a lie." And Big Anthony was angry, and that wasn't a very good thing to be. I'll show them, he said to himself. Someday I will get the pasta pot and make it cook, and then they'll be sorry. And the day came sooner than even Big Anthony would have thought, because 2 days later, Strega Nona said to Big Anthony, Anthony, I must go over the mountains to the next town to see my friend Strega Amelia. Sweep the house and weed the garden. Feed the goat and milk her, and for your lunch there are some bread and cheese in the cupboard. And remember, don't touch the pasta pot. Oh, yes, Strega Nona, Big Anthony said. But inside he was thinking, my chance has come. As soon as Strega Nona was out of sight, Big Anthony went inside, pulled the pasta pot off the shelf, and put it on the floor. Now let's see if I can remember the words, said Big Anthony. And Big Anthony sang, bubble, bubble, pasta pot, boil me some pasta nice and hot. I'm hungry and it's time to sup, boil enough to fill me up. And sure enough, the pot bubbled and boiled and began to fill with pasta. Oh, aha, said Big Anthony, and he ran to the town square, jumped on the fountain and shouted, everyone get forks and plates and platters and bowls, pasta for all at Strega Nona's house. Big Anthony has made the magic pot work. Well, of course, everyone laughed, but ran home to get forks and plates and platters and bowls. And sure enough, when they got to Strega Nona's, the pasta pot was so full it was beginning to overflow. Big Anthony was a hero. He scooped out pasta and filled the plates and platters and bowls. There was more than enough for the townspeople, including the priest and the sisters at the convent. And some people came back for 2 or 3 helpings, but the pot was never empty. When all had had their fill, Big Anthony sang, enough, enough, my pasta pot. I have my pasta nice and hot. So simmer down my pot of clay until I'm hungry another day. But alas, he did not blow the 3 kisses. He went outside, and to the applause of the crowd, Big Anthony took a bow. He was so busy listening to compliments from everyone that he didn't notice the pasta pot was still bubbling and boiling. Until a sister from the convent said, oh, Big Anthony, look! And pasta was pouring out of the pot all over the floor of Strega Nona's house and was coming out the door. Big Anthony rushed in and shouted the magic words again, but the pot kept bubbling. He took the pot off the floor, but the pasta kept pouring from it. Big Anthony grabbed a cover and put it on the pot and sat on it. But the pasta raised the cover and Big Anthony as well and spilled on the floor of Strega Nona's house. Stop! Yelled Big Anthony. But the pasta did not stop. And if someone hadn't grabbed poor Big Anthony, the pasta would have covered him up. The pasta had all but filled the little house. Out the windows and through the doors came the pasta, and the pot kept right on bubbling. The townspeople began to worry. Do something, Anthony, they shouted. Big Anthony sang the magic song again, but without the 3 kisses, it did no good. By this time, the pasta was on its way down the road, and all the people were running to keep ahead of it. We must protect our town from the pasta, shouted the mayor. Get mattresses, tables, doors, anything to make a barricade. But even that didn't work. The pot kept bubbling and the pasta kept coming. We are lost, said the people, and the priest and the sisters of the convent began praying. The pasta will cover our town, they cried. And it certainly would have, had Strega Nona not come down the road, home from her visit. She didn't have to look twice to know what had happened. She sang the magic song and blew the 3 kisses, and with a sputter the pot stopped boiling and the pasta came to a halt. "Oh, grazie, thank you, Strega Nona," the people cried. Then they turned on poor Big Anthony. "String him up," the men of the town shouted. "Now wait," said Strega Nona. "The punishment must fit the crime." And she took a fork from the lady standing nearby and held it out to Big Anthony. "All right, Anthony, you wanted pasta from my magic pot," Strega Nona said, "and I want to sleep in my little bed tonight. So, start eating." And he did. Poor Big Anthony. And that's the story of Strega Nona. Oh my gosh. Oh. She needs red phone next to her so she can get emergency calls from her commissioner. What? Oh. You can barely hear me? What? What's going on? Oh dear. Let's see. I need a red. You're right. I need a red button. Huh. And that was up all the way. Let's see something here. Input volume's up all the way. I don't know what's going on. Huh. Output volume. Well, I'm sorry about that. I keep trying to turn my volume up. Mine's up all the way. Odd. Okay, well, first day back. A little glitch there with the sound. And I will I will work on that for better sound tomorrow. Something happened. Anyway, for now, you guys, that's the story of Strega Nona, and since it's difficult for you to hear, we survived just fine. So that's my excuse. We all managed, Gretchen, but it's a little low, huh? Thank you, Larry, for letting me know that. I'm not quite sure why all of that is also low. I will have to check on all this. But, you know, I did video checks, but I didn't do an audio check enough beforehand. Anyway, you guys, that's the first of the books about Tomie dePaola that I'm going to read, and I have several others that I've chosen, and more about. There's one called The Lady Guadalupe, and Strega Nona's Magic Wing, and The Legend of Old Befana. I don't know if I have Charlie's Cloak, but we're going to do about 3 or 4 days of Tomie dePaola, and maybe try to do a little bit of his illustration, which, yeah, I won't spend 6 hours like that one guy did. But for now, that's the story for tonight, and I hope you liked it. His artwork is something that is just so, where was it? There we go. We'll go back there. You can see here, this one with the take you back here. There. You can see how his artwork, the simple border part that he does, but also this look, with so few little lines, and the faces have such expression with just dots, 2 dots, a little U, and a smile face. How he did this, I don't know. All his books have these wonderful things. He had a great sense of color, and his Christmas books are just amazing, and he they're all just so much fun to see. They all have this little bit of a kind of a muted tone to them. But I'm looking forward to reading some of his Christmas books too in December. Yay. So everybody, for now though, I'm going to call it a night and say thanks for being here. Sorry about it being so low. I thought I had everything up loud enough for you all to hear. Ooh, ouch. That hit my ears there. Had that all the way up. But I'll figure out what's going on and double check and work on that for tomorrow. Give me a project. All right, you guys. For now, that's it. So until next time, I hope you all enjoyed the story and add the audio gain filter for more range. It should be available under your microphone in your app. All right, I will do that. Thanks, Larry. I'll look on that because it is, since I'm running it through, since I hooked up differently, a couple things didn't show up that I thought were going to be here too. All right, until next time, everybody, you take care and keep looking for the beauty hidden in plain sight. It's all around you, but you know the first place you'll find it is in the mirror. And I'll see you next time.
In the heat of the night, we could